Is there a major difference between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney on the issues? Such a question might win an automatic yes from die-hard Democrats and Republicans, but others argue that a serious analysis of the issues facing the nation makes a choice of the lesser of two evils between Democratic incumbent President Barack Obama and Republican challenger Mitt Romney all but a coin toss. Who's right? Liberty News Network is finishing its analysis of the two major party candidates on four major issue areas: fiscal policy, foreign policy, civil liberties, and social issues. In this fourth and final installment, we'll analyze how the two candidates compare on social issues. Barack Obama is an admitted statist and liberal on social issues, meaning that he thoroughly undermines traditional values and uses the force of the federal government to do so. Obama is 100% pro-abortion and received a 100% rating from the abortion organization NARAL as a senator. He voted as an Illinois state senator to fund abortions with state money, and as senator voted to fund embryonic stem cell research with federal funds. As president, he overturned the Mexico City policy that banned the use of foreign aid to fund abortion providers abroad with an executive order. In his first week as president, Mitt Romney ran for governor of Massachusetts in 2002 as a pro-choice candidate to the left of former U.S. Senate opponent Ted Kennedy, against whom he had run for Senate in 1994.
I will preserve and protect a woman's right to choose, and am devoted and dedicated to honoring my word in that regard. I will not change any provisions of Massachusetts' pro-choice laws.
But as governor, Romney claimed to have experienced a change of heart on the issue. He now claims to be 100% pro-life on abortion.
What was the biggest thing you were wrong about?
Well, it's probably about the issue of abortion and life. I have always opposed abortion, but when I ran for office, I thought, well, I can say and can understand the idea of leaving the law the way it is. The Supreme Court has made its decision. I'm just going to say I'll support the law and preserve the law as it exists. That was somewhat naive, it turns out, because when I became governor, I found that you can't just support it the way it is, that the law changes over time. I had a piece of legislation that came to my desk that would redefine when life began in my state, would also authorize the creation of embryos for the purpose of experimentation and ultimately destroying them. And so I said, look, I am pro-life. I will defend the sanctity of human life. I was wrong.
You vetoed that bill.
I vetoed that bill.
Right, but in the beginning, when you were campaigning in Massachusetts, a very liberal state, you said, look, my personal belief, I'm against it, but I'm not going to legislate against it because Roe v. Wade. You think that was a mistake?
Yeah, I think that was a mistake.
On marriage, there's a substantial difference between Romney and Obama, though this will not apply directly to legitimate presidential powers. Obama has recently publicly endorsed political recognition of same-sex marriage. Mitt Romney has backed a constitutional amendment defining marriage as one man and one woman, though Romney favors political recognition of same-sex unions under a name other than marriage. On health care, Obamacare and Romneycare are based on identical principles except the principle of federalism. Romneycare nominally leaves health care out of the federal sphere. But Romney's recent campaign statements about repeal and replacing Obamacare in the wake of the June 2012 Supreme Court decision seem to indicate he would keep in place every element of Obamacare at the federal level except the individual mandate that makes the health care package affordable and commercially feasible. Romney has better public positions on social issues than Obama, and Romney may make some difference on this issue by restoring the Mexico City policy and by appointing more conservative Supreme Court justices. Romney's judgment is not rock solid on social issues, as his campaign website touts the appointing of John Roberts as a model to follow. Roberts was the deciding vote on the High Court that upheld the Obamacare mandate. Even on issues such as drug legalization, conservative justices are more likely to back constitutional limits to the federal government's powers. In the medicinal marijuana case, Raich versus Gonzalez, only conservative Clarence Thomas argued that medical marijuana a cancer patient grows on her own property for her own consumption is not commerce subject to federal regulation under the U.S. Constitution. On social issues, Romney would be a marginally better candidate than President Obama. This has an impact on Supreme Court picks, though Romney's advantage on Supreme Court picks on social issues is counterbalanced by his disadvantage for more likely Supreme Court picks on civil liberties issues. where, as explained in the third installment of this video profile, the major presidential candidates, President Obama decidedly holds the advantage. In sum, Barack Obama and Mitt Romney have some differences, but both agree that the Bill of Rights must be destroyed in the war on terror and that wild deficit spending must continue. For Liberty News Network, I'm Tom Eddlem, reporting.